seller package. And that's the one we will really think is the best value and the best package anywhere. So let me tell you the details. First of all, there is a minimal cost to the seller upfront. There's a $2.99 package fee. We are waiving that during the pilot period. They're not paying that during the pilot. That $2.99 fee affords them the opportunity to receive a listing agent and all of your services. And when I say all of your services, we actually have a document that I want to show you. When you click on that link on the PowerPoint, you'll be able to see this. There's 184 tasks that a former NAR president had to speak in front of Congress. And so when she went, she told them all of these things that agents do that we're not even aware of as customers, just showing the value of what an agent brings to the transaction. And so there are things that you're doing that we're not aware of, like you're researching the average days on market. You're preparing that CMA so that you can sit down and share it with the customer. You are setting up a strategy for marketing that property. You're even reviewing current title information. You guys are verifying current loan information with lenders. You're doing a lot of things that we may not even be aware of. Recently, last year, my husband and I were looking at buying a new home, and my buyer's agent had, when we went to the property, she had a nice book there with all the information about the property, and she was even able to tell me some loan information on that house. And she couched that around the opportunity for me to know that, well, they had to receive at least this amount because they had to pay off the mortgage. So you guys do a lot that they may not be aware of, that the average customer is not aware of, and we want to make them aware of those things. So you will do all the things that you typically do for a listing. And here are the key things. These two things I'm going to tell you now are key to why this super seller package is so fabulous and will work for the sellers and for you. So first of all, this property would have to be a part of our Zone.com auction platform. That's a requirement. Now, they have to have it registered in at least one auction event. They can choose when they want that auction event to occur. It can be early on. It can be further out in your contract time with them. But that being a part of the auction allows us to charge a buyer's premium, an auction buyer's premium of 5%, which most of you are familiar with if you're familiar with our REO platform. Buyer's premium is customary, and we'll be able to charge that buyer's premium, which alleviates the seller's need to pay a commission, but allows a commission to be paid. So here's how we would split that 5%. The listing agent commission, you will receive 2%, the buyer's agent will receive 2%, and then there's a 1% commission to Zone. So in addition to that, another couple of good things, that features that are wonderful, you will have support by an internal Zone ARM relationship, the ARM, which really is an agent relationship manager. We call them ARM. And so they will help step you through the process. They're not stepping you through the process of selling a house because you already know how to do that. But they're stepping you through the super seller process. So what is it that you need to provide to us? What do we need to provide to you? All of that type of thing. What is the auction part of it? Some things about that. And then the seller is going to be supported by the concierge, the Zone concierge, and they're just going to reach out to them and be a warm touch base to make sure they're satisfied. So let's get into some details about this, and kind of first let's do a scenario. So what happens is the customer goes to the website, they see the packages, there's 3 of them, the free one, the super seller one, and one more that I'm going to tell you about. The super seller package is $299 up front. They swipe their credit card, pay that $299. We immediately call them. So they pay $299. Let's say because the average property list price is $350, I'm going to go with that. So since for sale by owner, its average list price is this. So $350 is what you and the customer agree to list it at once you have your meeting with them. Well, a buyer's premium of 5% on $350,000 would be $17,500. So if you had a full offer, the total purchase price would be $367,500. So now you do what you do. You have a negotiation. The buyer complains about paying the buyer's premium. So you ask them, well, how much are you willing to pay for the home? And the buyer says, I'll pay $350,000, but I'm not paying the buyer's premium. Well, the buyer could offer $333,000 because the buyer's premium on that would be $16,650. So the total purchase price would be $349,650. The buyer is happy because that's right at their $350,000, and so you will help them see how they would be able to get to the amount. The important thing is, what are they willing to pay? All right, and so now you go to your seller and you tell them the offer to them is $333,000 because this $16,650 buyer's premium they wouldn't be receiving. The seller says, no, I need to get at least $340,000. So then you go back to the buyer and you say, well, what we need is $357 because it would be the $340. The buyer's premium on $340 would be $17,000. So that would total $357,000. All right. So if maybe your buyer agrees to that. If your buyer is me, and it's hard enough to find a house that I agree, that I love, and it's in an area that I'm okay with. But then when you add my husband to me, now you're really trying to figure out something that you both like. So if I'm paying $350,000 and have found the home I love, I'm not going to let $7,000 stop me. But if your buyer does, then you continue to negotiate. So let's say they agree. So the seller, let's just look at what the costs were on this. The super seller package upfront cost the seller $299. The buyer's premium is $17,000. Now that's the cost. This doesn't have anything to do with closing costs. Any closing costs that are customary to the seller or customary to the buyer are still customary, and they will still be paying them. If they have negotiated for the seller to pay a certain percentage of their closing costs, that still the situation. What this does is this is related to the commission. So how would this $17,000 be split? Well, you receive $6,800, the buyer's agent receives $6,800, and Zone would receive $3,400. And that's how that would split out. All right. So now I've got a couple of questions for you guys. Let's see if you've been paying me any attention. Let me change my screen. Okay. What is the listing agent commission on that? What's your percentage of commission on a super seller package? What's your commission? Right, guys. I see that. 2%. Great. Thank you guys for that. And what is the buyer's agent's commission on that package? Yep, they get the same thing you do, 2%. So how much does this package cost the seller? Yes, $299. $299. And what does it cost the buyer? What's being charged the buyer? Yes. Wonderful, Shirley, Norma, Maria, John, 5%. Yes, Dave, 5%. So how are we able to charge that buyer's premium? What is it that we're doing with the super seller package that allows us to charge that buyer's premium and therefore allow the seller not to have to pay commission? Yes, we're including it in an auction. And we would argue with you that just because it's customary for the seller to pay the commission, that the home is the real estate industry is one of the few places, only one we can think of, where the person who owns the commodity is paying the commission. So